Democrats are furious right now as CNN is openly admitting the truth that President Trump is winning through the American people and that the Democratic Party is down in the dumps. You're not going to believe what I'm about to show you today because you have far-left liberals who are now siding with the president. Also, I've got some very bad news for Kamala Harris, but real quick, if you want to keep yourself informed in this busy modern world, then make sure to subscribe and like this video. CNN is not the biggest fan of President Donald Trump. In fact, they've attacked him multiple times on air, with anchors like Caitlin Collins leading the way. But there seems to be a change that's happening within the network. It looks as if some of their hosts are realizing that telling the truth would get them better ratings. Let's start with tariffs because that's a huge deal, with some saying that economists are predicting costs to skyrocket. But here's CNN saying the complete opposite.
What you see happening today is so far we're on a similar path where there's, again, no noticeable increase in inflation as a result of these tariffs. And in fact, not only that, but we put out a report a few weeks ago about how imported goods were actually getting cheaper relative to domestically produced goods.
Isn't that surprising? And it's not just one segment. Here's their numbers guy, Harry Enton, laying out the facts for us.
We can start there with tariffs. What are we talking about? No tacos for Trump. The effective tariff rate, get this, 18%. It is the highest, Omar, the highest since the 1930s, up from, get this, just 2% last year. As I'm going to talk about in this segment, I can't think of a more influential president during this century, and it starts here with tariffs. He said he was going to raise tariffs, and despite the claims otherwise, he is in fact doing that. The effective tariff rate at this point looks to be 9 times as high as it was last year, the highest since the 1930s in FDR, Omar.
Would you look at that? Another report that boasts about tariff numbers. This is backing up the claims from the president from when he was campaigning, and he's doubling down on that promise. Not just that, but CNN is now admitting that the border crisis is no longer a crisis.
How about net migration in the United States? Get this, it's down. It's going to be down at least 60%. We may be dealing with, get this, negative net migration to the United States in 2025. That would be the first time there is negative net migration in this country in at least 50 years. We're talking about down from 2.8 million in 2024. So Donald Trump has always run on tariffs, and he's run on a hawkish line on immigration. And on both of those issues, we are seeing record high tariff rates for this century going all the way back, well back into the early part of the 20th century. And when it comes to immigration, net migration, we are seeing record low levels, way down from where we were during the Biden administration.
Here's the most surprising report. Even Michael Smerconish is saying that President Trump is getting results. Michael Smerconish. Here's him defending the president from a viewer who claims that he's done nothing positive in his second term.
From the world of X. In theory, yes, says Doty, but since Trump has not done anything positive in his latest administration, it's a moot point. Okay, come on. This is to the poll question and the premise, which is to say Democrats and opponents of Donald Trump would have more credibility with people that they need to reach, not with one another. You already have them. If every once in a while they acknowledge that there's been an achievement with which they actually agree. Now, Doty just said, well, there haven't been any. I offered you 2 in my opening commentary. Is it not a good thing that the porous border crossings have slowed to a trickle? Is it not a good thing that our NATO allies have agreed to move from 2 to 5% of GDP? I think they're both good things. Why not say it? You'll enhance your credibility, not diminish it.
And that is the end game. If CNN wants to build their credibility up again, they need to report the truth, no matter how much they might hate it. Which brings up an issue for the left. What Democrats continue to fail to see is that they have one message, that people should vote for them just because they're not Donald Trump. But as we saw last year, that doesn't cut it. You need a message and a platform to stand on, not word salads that would have your audience scratching their heads. Which brings me to former Vice President Kamala Harris. After announcing that she won't run for governor in California, things get worse as her own party doesn't see her as president material anymore.
Yeah, I would just say, hold your horses here. The chance that Kamala Harris is going to be the 2028 Democrat nominee, they don't look too good right now, to be perfectly honest with you. Chance of being the 2028 Democrat nominee.
Don't you need to do the caveat of like what year we're currently in?
I believe we're in 2025, though. It kind of feels like 2045. There have been so many years and just one so far. Look, Gavin Newsom is the favorite at 20% according to the betting markets. Do not sleep on Ocasio-Cortez. AOC right up there at 15%. Buttigieg 9%. Shapiro 6%. Harris all the way down at 6%, basically in a tie for 4th place at this particular point. So if you have any ideas that Kamala Harris is passing up a potential gubernatorial run-in for 2026 in California and perhaps would be trading up for a presidential bid, the betting markets at this point, simply put, do not buy it.
Now you might think that the party is in better hands with AOC or Jasmine Crockett. Well, that's not good news for them either, because we know that both of them are far left politicians. They don't have an America First message. They're fighting for illegal immigrants to be given full citizenship and entitlement benefits. This includes SNAP and even Social Security, which makes the 2028 race that much tougher for them.
Bombs
It's cringe.
and 4-letter words.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not authentic. It's
not.
just weird.
It's so weird. And it's a crazy concept that the left has gone so far left. When you look at a cycle like 24, where they ran too liberal of a candidate, you would think they would come a little bit more center of the aisle, realize their messaging was a little too crazy. But the face of the Democrat Party today is people like AOC and Jasmine Crockett. And our face is people like Donald Trump, J.D. Vance, Katie Britt. I think if we print out just pictures of our party leaders and show them to college students, we're winning every day, and I think that's an amazing concept.
Which brings me to my point. If more networks had journalists that did their jobs, we'd all be better off. And that's basically the job that I've been doing for you guys, which is to try and bring the truth that many of these outlets won't provide. And with that, please consider subscribing to The Civic Trigger, where I provide you with the truth no matter what. As always, thank you for watching. Talk to you in the next one.